Hello everybody, my name is Mr. Evans, I'm the Strategic Lead for Year 10 and today I'm going to be talking you through the key dates and key events that you need to know for what's happening this term for your child. So, first thing we're going to talk about is our focus. So for the focus for Year 10 is developing that competitive edge. As I mentioned in my previous video, this year is all about making sure that we're in the perfect possible spot for our GCSEs because we are started them this year and we'll be finishing them off next year, and it's that 2-year process. And in order for your child to achieve the best they possibly can do, we have to be focused on these 3 main drivers. So we'll start with the bottom one, attendance. Attendance is absolutely key, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. And when they are in school, it's those high standards as well. So it's things like their uniform, it's their punctuality, and those are the key focuses that the year group is having at this point in time with the year group, as we noticed that our standards have slipped a little bit below where we want them to be, particularly around that punctuality side of things. And so we want to make sure we're bringing that back up again to the high levels, because if we sweat the small things and get them right, then the bigger things will fall into place later on. And again, we'll talk about the academic focus because we want to make sure your child can achieve the destinations they want to achieve, and that all comes through the grades that they are able to actually get at the end of that Year 11 journey. So on that, with the academic, knowledge organised and homework expectations. Knowledge organisers are still expected to be completed every night. They're still expected to complete the pages of work and then show them to their period 1 teachers to get them signed off. Now, a number of students are starting to complete their red booklets now, which is fantastic, and they'll have a whole booklet full of notes that they can use for their revision when they come to their GCSEs. Now what they can do, if they've run out and they're doing online paper, we have lots of spare books in our office. They are more than welcome to come get one before school, after school, or at tutor time. We will happily provide them with a new book to complete. I know other subjects are still setting work online, things like Seneca for maths, Sparks for maths, Seneca for things like history. So there will be an online element to your child's learning. It's making sure that they are completing those as well, because it will enable them to achieve those best grades with that knowledge retrieval. Now, we do have an academic review evening. That is on Thursday, the 6th of March, 2025. That will be an opportunity for you to come in and meet all of the staff. I will be there with my Year 10 class, and if you'd like to meet myself, and I know that Mrs. Green will be there as well, we'd be more than happy to meet you and discuss and in detail about how your child's getting on from a holistic point of view. You will also get the next data drop released in mid-March, which will be giving you a bit more further information about your child and that your teachers have assessed them for a bit of a longer period. They'll have a more accurate reflection on how your child is doing at this point in time. And if you would like to know more about your curriculum that your child is learning about for each subject, which I have been asked a number of times about what they're learning in each subject, it is on the school website as well. So if you want to go to the curriculum/subject information, there's a link here as well, then that should be able to help provide you with a little bit more background information. And anything further you'd like to know, please just reach out and contact me. I have got my details at the end, which I'll share with you. So you can just ask me if you've got any further questions, and I'll be more than happy to try and support you. So with those standards and expectations, now I have sent this out previously at my first video that I sent out in the start of September. This is a little bit of a refresher about uniform. Now, overall, Year 10's uniform is pretty good. There's a couple of areas that we could improve on, making sure the students are wearing their blazers, especially as it's cold right now. They should be wearing them, as I don't know how they're walking around and not freezing. And secondly, we've got to make sure that they're wearing plain black shoes, not branded trainers, which is something that we're seeing creeping in a little bit. We're just going to make sure that those aren't there. And again, it's making sure that their eyelashes and nails shouldn't be visible. So make sure we haven't got big, thick eyelashes on. And the reason for this is so that students are all equal. They've all got the same standards and expectations as each other. And they're making sure that if we get them in the right mindset and looking professional, then they'll feel more professional. They'll be able to work in a proper environment. So just making sure that we're hitting those things. And if you'd like to pause it, then you'll be able to sort of read through the specifics about some of the extra stuff like hoodies, etc. Make sure that we're not wearing those underneath our blazers as well. Now, as mentioned, our absolute key, most important driver is around attendance, particularly trying to make sure that attendance number is as high as possible. It is the single biggest indicator of their academic performance. This is not just a thing that we say at Camden. This is a nationwide trend. At the bottom is a specific Camden thing. This is reviewing our last cohort of Year 11, so the Year 11s who left in the summer. This is what the correlation between their attendance and the grades that they managed to achieve. So as you can see, those that were hitting above a 95% attendance were having an increase in their grades, whereas those average grades compared to those that were below, where they were below 95% attendance, where they were actually having a drop down in their grades. And you can see it starts to spiral very, very quickly. So it's really important that your child is attending as much as they possibly can. And if they're feeling a little bit poorly, send them in, see how far we can get them through the day, and even if they make it through till lunchtime, just after lunchtime, and they managed half a day is better than no day in that school. So it's really making sure that we're keeping that dialogue open. If we can help support in any way, please let us know. We do want to make sure that those children are in there and that they're catching up any missed work that they have, because in GCSEs it's so important that they're there for everything, because one lesson can be the basis of an entire paper, and we don't want them to have had one missed lesson, missed it, not caught up on the work, and then when it comes to their summer exam, that they're then not able to access that content, because we want to make sure your child is achieving the best they possibly can do for their future careers. Now, making sure that they are well developed as a person is also important to make sure they're doing extracurriculum. So these are all the extracurriculum activities that are an option for your child to attend. There is one, if you notice, at the bottom of Thursday, which is just to be confirmed. I've been speaking with the science department this week. They're running an Orbits research project. It will be an invite-only involving Warwick University for those that are interested in physics and science, and it will run for a 14-week program. That will be an option as well for those that are really passionate about their science and to be able to attend. If there's any sports on there that you would like your child to attend, then these are the nights that they are on there. So it'd be excellent for them to try and be as involved with the community as possible, because the more involved your child is with the school and doing those extracurriculum, the more they'll feel valued and part of it, and the better they'll want to achieve. So it's really important that if there are any on there that you think will be useful, then they attend. As you can see, we have a homework club every single night as well. That is in the library. As I mentioned before in my September video as well, I did talk a little bit about the fact that we have got textbooks in my classroom. We still have that. We still run that. Students do come up there and they do extra work with the textbooks up there to catch up on any work that they've missed from being absent, or if they just didn't understand something and they want to go back through and refresh it. I've got all the up-to-date curriculums in there. So it's really important that if your child is struggling to do homework at home, they're more than welcome to come and do it in school as well, so we can overcome those barriers for them. So one final thing from myself, I'll start off with the contact email addresses. This is just a bit of information for you to be aware of. So as I said, my name is Mr. Evans. I'm the strategic lead. That's my email address there. So if you'd like to try and get hold of me, you can do so from there. We've got Mrs. Green, who's the head of year, who does sort of the day-to-day operations. She oversees that. So I know a lot of you would have been in contact with Mrs. Green in the past. That's just her email there if you would like to contact her directly. And then we've got the pastoral leads, Mrs. Bartlett and Mrs. Josiah. Those are their emails again if you'd like to reach out to them. And we're all part of the same team. So if you reach out to one of us, all of us will find out, which is important. And we'll be more than happy to answer anything. I know that sometimes it can be quite difficult to get hold of us. If you want to try and get hold of us, this is the best method you can possibly have, is send us an email and we'll give you a call back as soon as we're available to do so. And likewise, there is a parent view Ofsted link there for you. If you would like to fill in a questionnaire about the school, saying things that you think that you valued or we've helped out with, or anything you want to pass on positively, but also things that you will think that we can improve on, that it's a really valuable resource for you to be able to communicate with us anything that any concerns or any praise that you want to pass on, that we can fill in for you. And because ultimately we want to try and make your child's experience the best we possibly can do, and as an extension of that, we want to make the experience for you the best we possibly can do as well. So anything you'd like to pass on to us, we'd really appreciate it, because we can only respond to what we hear. So let us know anything, and we'll be more than happy to try and accommodate you in any way we possibly can do. So thank you very much for your time. I hope this has been valuable for you, and I hope you and your child have a wonderful spring term. Thank you.